Yo, what's up? I am not Rumel, and this is a video guide on how to beat red with only 2 Pokemon. There's a full written guide linked in the description that goes into much more detail, so I highly recommend you check that out. And additionally, if there's any changes to the strategy or things get updated, I'll be able to post and change them there where I can't edit this video and tell you that. So definitely check that out in addition to watching this, and let's get into it. The TLDR of this strategy is a Moxie Honchkrow with Sucker Punch can sweep red with almost no setup. The idea for the strategy comes from the Chinese PokeMMO forums from a user named CaptainXianyu, which I apologize if I'm butchering that, where they outline the strategy using the Honchkrow and an Aaron. The main twist on the strategy is that I use a Skuntank instead. Aaron uses a Fear strategy, which the developers really don't like, and there's a close to 100% chance that that's nerfed in the near future. So Skuntank comes in to weaken Red's lead Pokemon. It does so with Sucker Punch as a priority move, so it outspeeds everything on Red's team that it needs to. And then for Snorlax, it naturally outspeeds it. The problem being Reflect, though. So we have Defog to clear Reflect, and then Explode to do enough damage onto Snorlax that puts it into an HP range that Honchkrow can reliably take care of. Then for Honchkrow, we have Sucker Punch. That'll take care of almost everything. We have Superpower for Snorlax in certain situations. Aerial Ace for Venusaur in certain situations. And then the rare chance that Charizard comes in second, we need Protect to do a little bit of Solar Power Chip damage for Sucker Punch to reliably one-hit KO. For EVs, IVs, and Nature, we have some interesting things that need to happen. Skuntank needs to survive a crit Earthquake from Snorlax. So we choose the Impish Nature for the defense bonus. We have 31 IVs and HP in defense, a max EV investment of 252 in defense, and then 106 HP defense investment for the EV, which we technically only need 8, but we just put the rest of the points in there. Then it also needs to not crit and one-hit KO Snorlax with its explosion, so we cap the attack EV investment at 152. Honchkrow has the Adamant Nature for the attack boost, and it needs 31 IVs in HP, attack, special defense, and speed. It's pretty important that you get as close to, if not perfect, in these 4 stats, and I'll explain why. We obviously need to maximize our attack with 252 attack EV investment. We also need to outspeed Venusaur with 132 speed, which at 31 speed IV gets you 1 point faster than Venusaur. And then finally, we dump the rest of the points into special defense to take as minimal damage from Blastoise's Water Spout as possible. Blastoise usually comes out second and won't get one-hit KO'd by Sucker Punch. But what happens is, because the AI had selected Water Spout, the Water Spout will do minimal damage. However, there is a rare chance that at these exact stats, Blastoise will crit and do enough chip damage so that you cannot finish the fight with Life Orb chip damage. If it does more than 40%, then you won't be able to feint the last Pokemon that Red has. It comes to be about a 1 in 200 chance of failure. So if you're running Red weekly for 4 years, you'll see on average 1 failure. And then when I say failure, all that means is Honchkrow feints when it one-hit KOs the 5th Pokemon, so the 6th Pokemon just needs to be taken care of by a Pokemon or 2 in your party. So let's get into a quick couple fights with Red so you can kind of see how the team works. So to start on this lead, we have Blastoise, which is a pretty typical start for Skuntank. We just need to make sure that we don't get 2 crits in a row. If we get 2 crits in a row, Blastoise feints, and the setup is ruined because we can't then come in with Honchkrow and start sweeping and snowballing. So we're going to get 2 Sucker Punches off here, no crits, which is good. If we got a crit the first time, we could have just used Defog, and then we would have been fine, even with the range-ish recovery. It would still be low enough that Honchkrow can take care of it. Even if it doesn't one-hit KO, the Water Spout damage is minimal. But super low now. We're going to come in, we're going to Sucker Punch. There's a slight chance that it doesn't one-hit KO in that situation, but like I said, the Water Spout damage will be so low, it won't matter. Now we're just going to start sweeping pretty reliably here. Charizard is probably going to come in. There it is. The most important thing to remember, I think most people are going to forget probably with this strategy, is that if Charizard is in second, there's a very small chance that Sucker Punch doesn't one-hit KO. And that's why we run the Protect here. So we run Protect, and then that's going to do just a little bit of Solar Power damage. It's like 12.5%, I think. It is, and that's enough. The Sucker Punch at a low roll, I think, is like 97.5%. So this puts it well within that one-hit KO range at +1. And then the fight's pretty straightforward from here. We're going to see Pikachu and Espeon. I don't know what the order it's going to give us. It's usually Pikachu. Yep. And same thing. Sucker Punch. it's pretty straightforward up until the end here. With the Blastoise lead, we don't even have to worry about the water spout chip damage. So you don't even get to see that. We're just going to see the health of Honchkrow tick down 10% after every move here. So we'll see the last two, it has a 50-50 shot of being Snorlax or Venusaur here. If it is Snorlax here, you want to click Superpower. The attack boost right now is not enough for it to reliably one-hit KO through Reflect. That's the most important part, is that Reflect comes up. So you have to click Superpower here. And then finally on the Venusaur, I'm not going to touch it, but what you do need to do is click Aerial Ace, because same problem, through Reflect, Sucker Punch won't do enough damage. That's why we carry the Aerial Ace, and that's why we have to outspeed Venusaur. So what I would do here is click Aerial Ace. I'm not going to do that because I want to show you a few more fights. So another quick fight here. I've already Sucker Punched once, but it's the same situation with Blastoise. We don't want 2 crits in a row. This one was not a crit, so we can safely click it again. And it doesn't matter if this one crits, it won't one-hit KO. We just need to make sure to leave Venusaur in this low HP range for Honchkrow to come in and start snowballing with Moxie. So we'll do that. Just out of habit, I'm going to click Aerial Ace. I think this is range for Sucker Punch to one-hit KO, but just want to remember Aerial Ace on Venusaur. That gets important in the situations where Reflect is up at the end and you can't click Sucker Punch. It might not work. So Aerial Ace, Blastoise almost always comes in. And there's Old Reliable. We're going to Sucker Punch. Let's see what the damage... Oh, we got a crit. So there's the situation where it doesn't even matter what Blastoise does. We got the crit. It won't be able to hit Water Spout on us, and I can't show you what Water Spout looks like on this one, so we'll do another fight after this, but it's going to be pretty much the same here on out. We're going to see Pikachu, Espeon, then Charizard, because Rain's up, I believe will be the order. The AI sees that Rain is up, but it doesn't understand that it has the sun automatically applied when it puts Charizard in, so let's see if that plays out. Yep, Espeon. And you'll see that these fights go very quickly. It takes about 1 or 2 turns for setup, and then 7 or less, in this case 6 turns for Honchkrow to sweep, because we did get that lucky crit on Blastoise. So here's Charizard, and then the last one will be Snorlax. Same thing, you still need to click Superpower on Snorlax. Sucker Punch, even at, what are we going to get to? +5 here. +5 Sucker Punch does not kill through Reflect. You need to press Superpower. So, and like before, I'm not going to actually press that. I want to keep red up. I have to show you another one, so let's do that. And then third fight here, this is an important one. Because of Espeon's Wish, it creates kind of an interesting situation. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quick swap to my Rock Climb HM friend here and feint out to just go straight into Honchkrow, because Honchkrow can one-hit KO Espeon at 0. We're just going to do that to start the sweep. It's a little bit faster. It's a little bit more reliable. Skuntank can one-hit, but because of Wish proccing later, it creates weird situations that I just like to avoid. So for reliability's sake, we're just going to do that. So we're going to start with the Sucker Punch, and then we're going to see the Blastoise come in. Hopefully we see some Water Spout damage, maybe a crit. Who knows? We just got the crit last time with the Honchkrow, so maybe the luck turns for red here. Let's see what we get. That was a pretty low roll. And yeah, the Water Spout damage was 26.6% because my Honchkrow is suboptimal. If that was a crit, I think that does just enough to cause failure. So that's where you see it's a low enough damage roll so that Water Spout damage does just enough that when it does crit, it creates a problem. So it's super rare scenarios, obviously, but we're trying to get as close to 100% as possible here with as few Pokemon as possible, and really as quickly as possible. So that's sort of how it plays out. And then just like before, we're gonna have Pikachu. We just saw Espeon, and so it'll probably be Charizard next. I think that there's enough rain turns at that point that it goes Charizard, but we'll see. Or it's just the priority, even with rain, it picks that instead. Yep. And we'll get the 50-50 on Venusaur Snorlax next. But just as another quick tip, I definitely recommend, the strategy is a little bit weird, so try doing it a couple times off of Charm, no pressure, just read the guide in the description and kind of follow that out. Once you see how it kind of plays out a couple times, you'll get a better feel for it. Obviously, we got to click superpower here. Always click superpower on Snorlax late. You can click it depending on its HP range if it leads, but not that important here. We get the attack drop. We're still going to be able to one-hit KO Venusaur at +4 with Aerial Ace. So you always just have to remember Aerial Ace on Venusaur. And last up, we have the Snorlax lead here. If you encounter a Pikachu, you just use a sack swap. I have the HM Bidoof, and then it will Volt Switch out, one-hit KO, the Sacrifice swap, and bring in Snorlax 100% of the time. So this kind of takes care of both those variations. You always have to remember to defog first here to get rid of Reflect. If Reflect stays up for a couple turns, it really screws with Honchkro's ability to one-hit KO things and then set up Moxie. We're bulky enough to tank a crit Earthquake if that comes up, and it doesn't even crit, doesn't matter. Then we explode to do enough damage here. So it's very important that we don't one-hit KO with the explosion as well. That's the cap on the EVs there. We only do, I think it'll max out at 99.9%. Doesn't matter if Snorlax is less than 45.5%. You can use Sucker Punch. I'm going to use Superpower anyway, just to show that the change happens with the AI. For some reason, the AI always brings in Espeon here. Can't explain why, but it does. It's almost always Blastoise or Charizard, but after the Superpower, it decides. I don't know if it has to do with the defense stage loss, but that works out perfectly because using Superpower means that we lose one attack stage, but then we gain it back with Moxie. We're back to 0, and at 0, we can Sucker Punch and one-hit KO the Espeon. Now, I've tested this about 10 times, like this specific variation where I use Superpower on Snorlax, and I have seen Charizard come out once out of those 10 times. So I don't know what exactly causes that, but it almost always picks Blastoise. Charizard does come out. We have the problem of Wish proccing right here. On Blastoise, that doesn't matter, as you'll see, because the Water Spout's going to do so little damage after the +1 Sucker Punch. It's going to get Rain Dish Recovery plus that, but it'll still be in one-hit KO range on the second hit. So I forgot to bring up Battle Text. It only did 18% anyway. We got a high roll on the damage. The problem with Charizard is it won't have the chip from Solar Power after 1 Protect because Wish procs. So there is another very, very small chance that I can't actually calculate because I don't understand how the AI exactly makes decisions, that you may have to just roll it and hope that you one-hit KO. I think it's something like an 80% chance that you one-hit KO the Charizard if you don't crit. If you do crit, obviously it's donezo. But that's the one wrinkle. Beyond the Blastoise damage bit, otherwise plays out pretty much all the same. I've done about, I have to guess, 100 or so red fights with this team, and those are the only ways that I've seen it fail. There may be very, very slight variations in the AI that change things, but that's all I've been able to test so far. And running out of steam here and all this testing, I got to get to actual money making soon. So that's going to do it for my testing of this team in particular, and probably the red fight for a while. That's going to do it for the video. I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Rainer for helping me theorycraft this and work out all the calcs. Rainer's channel will be in the description. He has a great video on the red fight, and a lot of the theory that he outlined there helped me figure out this strategy. I want to thank Secret GG for my team for relaying the strategy from the Chinese forums. And then I want to thank you for watching up to this point. Definitely check out the description and comments in case there are any changes that I make to the strategy. That'll be where I'll be able to update it. The video I can't edit after the fact, so check that out. Check out the guide in the description. There's going to be way more information there. If you need help with calculations, I've got a link to my calculator to run the charm calculations for your gym run, including the red fight. So that can get a little bit complicated. Figure out what charm is best. And other than that, thanks for watching.